Great Awakening. So I am going to start right away. As you come in, just say hello so that I know who's joining this morning. Happy Sunday, Great Awakening. So I am Phoenix Love of a Healer's Haven. I work with purpose-driven leaders to provide holistic healing solutions to help you achieve your wellness goals as well as work-life balance. I am the helper to the healer and the healer to the helper. Great Awakenings, thanks for joining. So I'm going to get right into the message this morning because I try to keep our morning chat for the soul, pretty brief and to the point. Try to keep it to a half hour the most because many of us are go off to our houses of worship, my spirituality practices, so I do not want to interfere with that. But I do want to share this message about staying grounded, what I want to say during the storms. And this message really came out of, just looking at my notes, this past week on the 27th, we had something called a solar storm. And it went from February 27th to March 1st. So it ended on March 1st was Friday, I believe. So, it was 3 days, and I think pretty much everybody was feeling the pull and the gravitational pull from our wonderful sun and the planets and, the environment. And, we must be aware, and if we're not acutely aware of our connection to the environment. I believe if you're in this community, you have some understanding of that, either on your own, from your own experience and your own research, but certainly, it's something that I educate and enlighten us about here in this community just from doing the moon cycles, which we are coming up on a new moon. So whenever we have these shifts in the environment, many of us, especially those of us that are highly sensitive, that are empathic, that may have certain gifts, we feel it, 10 times more. So it's been a rough week. And, just from hearing, just from texting, texts, from receiving messages from people, text messages, inboxes, even myself, just to be transparent, this was a rough week. Because of the shift in the environment and this solar storm, it has so many different implications. I'm just going to touch on a few just because of time. But I also want to help you understand the connection that we have environmentally, and we really need to pay attention to that. And I'll give an example before I even talk about some of the impacts and then just how we can stay grounded. If you think about it, whenever there is going to be like a regular storm, it's like a snowstorm, some kind of climate storm or weather storm, snowstorm, rainstorm, some that are in the Midwest may have tornadoes and all that. You watch the animals, right? The animals react. There's a reason for that. What I do all the time, because I have a very strong connection to birds. Birds are like my totem animal, that are very symbolic, hence the name Phoenix. I watch birds all the time. That's always my sign of anything that's about to go on environmentally. And if you watch birds, whenever there's a storm coming, they always gather and they start to move in patterns. So I'm giving y'all a little tip here. You want to know when something's going to happen as far as the climate, and sometimes there's some other spiritual things that are going on as well. Watch birds. Watch birds and how they move and how they gather. I've had, because that is my spirit animal, and I have a strong symbolic and spiritual connection with birds, that's a strong communicator for me. So I've had all types of bird sightings and been able to know certain things because of, birds. So I'm just giving you an example, but it's not just birds. You can look at, if you're in the Midwest, the cows, the horses, they start moving and running. They may be very restless. Why? Because we all come from the same source. And it, to me, is very beautiful and it's very powerful, because it's really how, if you think about it, our ancestors, they didn't have all the technology that we have. So how did they know things? How were they able to communicate? How were they able to prepare? Like we have all this, hurricane disaster centers and, storm and the meteorologists and, all these different things to tell us when things are happening environmentally, and studies and people that have jobs. And don't get me wrong, God bless them. My son, he's studying to be an environmental scientist. He works for a solar energy company now. So he sets appointments and, talk to people about solar energy, and sets up appointments for them to have the solar energy installments. The name is escaping me now. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, to be able to use solar energy as opposed to a regular electricity. And he works for a company that produces, those types of, that type of equipment for houses and for families. So, I thank God, because look, my son is going to be an environmental scientist. So don't get me wrong, they're important. But if you think about our ancestors, they didn't have that. So they had to rely on animals and nature and their intuition, right? The moon, and the moon cycle was very important back then, right? So these things don't just go away. Yes, we evolve, we have technology and everything, but we still have these things as resources. So I just wanted to give that as an example and tell you a little bit about this solar storm, what happened, but also how it relates to storms in our life in general, right? Whether we have a storm that's external and it's environmentally related and it's impacting us, or we're having our own internal storm, or we're having a storm in our life from a relationship standpoint, or we're having a storm in our life because our health is being compromised, okay? When storms come, we don't feel good, right? We're having symptoms. And just like when we had this solar storm, and I'm just going to read some of, or just kind of give you an indication of some of the things you may have been feeling this week. And this is why, because of this solar storm that's going on. There's always, see, we got to remember, we have our own electromagnetic field. We are made up of, this is part science, part spirit, temple that we're in, right? So remember, we're 80% and even more than 80% water. So we feel everything. We feel the effects of everything that happens around us, from an environmental standpoint, energetic standpoint, and this is what I always talk about, even how we interact with each other, right? Because we have all these neurons and protons in our body, and we have this electromagnetic field called an aura. So all of that is affected whenever there's these environmental shifts. But it's also such a prime time for us to be able to elevate, for us to be able to be more enlightened, to be more connected to divinity, to be more connected, to each other, and to be able to tap into the power that and the shifts that are going on environmentally. So there's always going to be the duality of life. There's always going to be the yin and the yang. There's always going to be the positive charges as well as the negative charges. And I think I saw somebody say, oh yes, this week was hard. Just like, I was saying, many of us felt the pull. We felt a lot of negative symptoms from what was going on environmentally. So you may have been feeling, and I know I have like a little list here because I was reading up, because I was trying to help myself too. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I mean, and I'm going to be transparent because some of you may have been feeling this. For me, and I think I don't think, but I know that it pulled up a lot of old stuff. So you may have been feeling like, dang, I buried all of this stuff. I fasted, I prayed. You know, I know we did some group fasting and prayer last year. Why is this stuff coming back up? You know, things, and I said it in the beginning of the year, there may be some things that are unsettled that may come back up. This was the week for these things to come back up. So whatever it is that was unsettled, it came to the top. So you may have had very intense dreams this week, nightmares. It was just a lot of energy that felt like it was pulling on you. Pulling, and it was sort of like a pull-push type of thing going on this week. And like I said, I know I felt it because it was times I'll just be sitting there and I'll just be boo-hooing. I said, what is going on with me? Because I'm not no big crier. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sensitive. I could watch a movie or something, like many of you, and you cry and feel something hits my heart. But it was like extreme this week. So I said, all right now, I got to get grounded. This ain't working. I got too much to do. So, you know, it was just that type of atmosphere that was going on for a lot of people, and we were feeling it on so many different levels. You may have also felt some physical illness, like a lot of congestion, a lot of dizziness, even some brain fog. I know I was dealing with that as well, you know, feeling a little confused and out of place. Tanya says emotional drained and unavailable. Yes, all of that, Tanya. So what I'm just going through these things because I don't want you to feel like you were alone and that, okay, trying to figure out what it was, because I'm telling you what it was. This solar storm was very, very powerful, and it really impacted many of us, especially those of us that are highly sensitive or empathic on some other level. And I want to just tell you, you know, like I posted in the group this week because I knew people were feeling the effects. And today is an interesting day as well because it's 333. It's March, the third month of the year, the third day in a 3-year. So I just wanted to, you know, give you guys, be aware of these things that are going on environmentally. And when you have luminous energy or any type of energy that comes from the sun or the moon, you are going to feel overstimulated because we're going to go into a new moon cycle. Okay, so it's like going to be like riding a wave. But there's a way to ride the wave and stay grounded. So that's really what I want to talk about. So whether you're riding the wave of this environmental shift and environmental shifts that happen, period, you know, just periodically during the moon cycles, especially as women, we definitely feel it, the moon cycles, and because of that divine connection that we have with the moon. So whether it's that or whether, like I said, you are going through a storm in your life, just, you know, maybe it's finances, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's your health. There is ways to tap in and still be able to stand strong, remain on your seat of power, and be able to manifest some positive things out of it. It's like I said, everything has duality. So even though that you may be experiencing some negative experiences or negative symptoms right now, there is an opportunity for positivity to come out of this. So that's really what I want to quickly go over. So first of all, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and just know that you are always in the hands of the Creator. You are always divinely protected. You always have the Spirit, the Holy Spirit with you. You always have community. You have community right here in this group. So I am so glad that many of you are on this morning and that you are here, part of this community, period. Because I want to be able to bring messages that you may not hear other places. You know, look, we all can talk about, you know, eating the right foods, and we all can talk about drink of water and moving your body, and which is all of this is important because that is part of the message this morning about staying grounded. But I want to be able to enlighten you on a spiritual realm, the supernatural realm, the energetic realm. This is my area of expertise where I tap in, and this is because I've been researching myself for years. Like I said, become an expert on yourself. So a lot of this came out of me going through my healing journey and trying to figure myself out. And I want to share all of that with you. So when I come on, I do these messages, I do these live, it's coming out of my own experiences over years and years and years of just trying to figure out ways to keep myself sane when all of these things are going on. Because at first I didn't know, just like many of you don't know, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? I'm usually very strong and I can get through things and I can pull myself up. And when you know better, then you can do better. And the more we know about this and how we really work, the more we're able to keep ourselves in a place of power and in a place of sanity. Because this is a time we're living in that you can get taken out. And what I mean by that, yeah, physically, leaving this earth prematurely. Listen, and I know many of you have had people close to you, just like me, that have just been taken out physically, left this earth. No reason. Young people in their 20s, 30s, 50 to me, 50 is young. And you sit there and you go, wait a minute. It's not always just, oh, they didn't eat the right foods or they didn't exercise enough and this is why they had a heart attack, or this is why they died of diabetes or whatever. And I'm not just talking about physical death. I'm talking about emotional death. I'm talking about spiritual death. Okay? We have the power to be able to make a shift and a change and manifest the things that we truly want in our life, including divine health. So that's really what this community is about. It's not just the surface stuff. You can go and get that anywhere. There's plenty of people that are health and wellness experts, and they out there and they can tell you all these great things. And you can look and read that up on your own. I'm hoping you are here for something more, something a little deeper, and you're really tapping into that spiritual piece of it and the energetic piece of it. So I want to really quickly just share with you some ways that you can take advantage of this time in any type of environmental shift. And just like I said, when you are dealing with your own storms in your life. So what I'm going to read real quick, it just says, when we talk about environmental storms or geomagnetic storms, which is what we just experienced, they're very intense transformational periods that can bring awakenings and reconnect us to internal and external universal knowledge and wisdom. To ensure we resonate with this higher energy so that our vibration is raised, we can combat the effects of solar activity by resting. Hear what I said? Resting, because another thing about solar storms and any storm in our life, what does it affect? Our sleep, our circadian rhythms. And I'm going to be doing a whole teaching on that, because we have to understand when is the most powerful time for us to rest, because there's certain hours, like between 10 and 2 is a powerful time for us to get some sleep. That's our deepest sleep time. And I'll get all, I don't have time this morning to get all into that, but our circadian rhythms has a lot to do with our overall health and our divine health. So one of the things that we definitely need to do during this time is get enough rest, okay? And then taking time off, taking time from our busy schedules. So hence is what this week we're going to be doing a detox and a fast. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But here are just some of the ways to stay more grounded. And I'm going to be doing, during this week, I'm going to post more information about grounding and how we actually can use different grounding interventions to help us to remain centered and aligned and grounded. Because what happens when we have these shifts, environmentally or whatever, we basically don't have our feet on the ground. It's just another way of saying it. We feel very off balance. Our equilibrium is affected. Like I said, our thinking is affected, our mind is affected, brain fog, confusion, even sometimes a little bit of chaos is in our life. Why? Because that energy pull is so strong that it literally can lift us off our feet. Okay? And what that means is that we are not thinking, doing, operating, functioning at our best. So we have to look at everything and anything that may be, one, that's pulling us in a wrong direction, that's pulling us in a negative area, that's negatively charging us. Okay? And you can't, and sometimes, let me say this, during this time, you can't do that alone. You need support. And I'm going to tell you, especially if you are empathic, you're going to want to retreat. And yes, there's a time for that. You're going to want to isolate because it really, this time frame, it's calling on us to be more introspective, right? To be, more to ourselves, more in solitude. And there's a time for that. But there's also a time that you need to have support, especially if you're struggling and you really don't know how to help to heal yourself during this time, okay? And to keep yourself grounded. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips. So the first one, of course, is to drink plenty of high alkaline water or filtered water, okay? Very important that your water is alkaline or filtered. Taking your baths, taking saltwater baths. I talk about baths all the time. And, you can add your crystals to that. You can add, definitely using like lavender and essential oils. And you could even put fruit. You could put some lemon in there. You can put some herbs in your bath. Flower essence. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you could put in there, natural things to help you feel more grounded. Meditate and remain aware of any reoccurring thoughts and feelings. Remember, this is a time that's going to bring up a lot of old, unhealed situations, wounds, memories are going to come back and have been coming back. Okay? So this is a time to really meditate and, just be aware. Be aware of what you're thinking about. Be aware of your feelings. Avoid caffeine and alcohol. Yeah. Yeah. I would keep on going with that one. That's a tough one. But that's the great thing about us doing a group fast and detox. We do it together. Spend time in nature. I was just telling my husband, I said, listen, if I don't get to the mountains like soon, I'm going to scream and pull all my hair out. Okay? It's just, this is where we connect. This is where the best grounding happens. Go hug a tree. When I walk out the door to go to church this morning, I'm going to go hug my tree, my big oak tree that's right in front of my house right now. Because that's that connection. We have to be connected to nature during this time. This week, I'm going to post everything this week. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Consume high vibrational foods, fruits and vegetables. That's what we're going to do this week. No problem there. The main thing is really, again, your breathing. This is an opportunity to really take advantage of breathing techniques. And I'm going to go through a couple of them tomorrow during Mindfulness Monday. So make sure you're on 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do a live one to get us started with this fast and detox. So I'll be doing some breathing techniques, but it's an opportunity to forgive, release, surrender, let go of things. Okay? Kindness and compassion. And there's a lot more. I'm just giving you some quick tips, and I'm just trying to be mindful of the time as well. Giving you some quick tips, but I'll be posting more like grounding exercises and information to help us ground it. Your stones. This is hematite. I don't know if y'all can see it, hematite bracelet, as well as my tiger eye and hematite bracelet that one of my master teachers made for me. So this is a custom bracelet that he made for me. And, I wear it every day. I wear them every single day, especially this week. I've worn them. I've slept in them because it's been intense. It's been intense. So get your stones, wear your gemstone jewelry, carry your stones. I've had stones. Listen, ladies, and I know that I think I saw my brother Clinton on here, but I don't care. The brothers that jump on, just put hashtag replay. Everybody watches on the replay, but I'm going to say this. Ladies, we can put it in our bra. I've had a whole bunch of healing stones in my bra this week. So don't be afraid to put it in your bra, to walk around and keeping those, malachite is an excellent stone. I've had my ametrine next to my heart. Whatever you need to do it. That's what I'm saying. Okay? And try to keep yourself, y'all see, I love to laugh. I love to, just give positive energy. Just do whatever you need to do to keep your energy and your vibration and your vibes high. That's what's key. That's part of grounded too. Just being in a peaceful and cheerful mood as much as possible. Be around people that's going to make you laugh. Be around people that's going to love on you, that's going to send you, some myrrh and some love and some peace. And you just know when you get around them, you just feel good. You feel like, you just feel like you got arms wrapped around you when you're around them. Don't be around some complaining. You already know. People that just bring you down. Don't be around energy vampires this week as much as possible. Or not even this week, but just period. Try to give yourself a rest. Yeah, during this week. During the fast and the detox. Fast and detox on people that are like that. Sometimes we can't help it because we work around them. They're in our family. They live in our house. Sometimes you can't avoid them. But as much as possible, try to be around positive people and positive energy. Okay? And laugh. Laughter is excellent medicine. It really is. Like, I know today, me and my husband, we going to see Medea. Because I need to laugh. I told her, let's go see Medea because I want to laugh. So do that and just remind yourself that everything in the universe is made up of energy. Okay? Including us. And that we can consciously stay intentional with everything that we want to do, everything that we want to focus on, everything that we want to change. This is a transformational period. Okay, just keep that in mind. So real quick, we are starting our fast and detox tomorrow. Okay, so you can just start by just go get some fruit, some vegetables. It's those of you who have been in this community when we've done our fast before. We did a 7-day fast last year towards the end of the year. I want to say it was December, I think. And I'll repost a lot of the posts. I'm not recreating the wheel. The only thing that's going to be different this time is still 7 days. It's still intermittent as far as eating raw foods, then liquid fast, then raw foods, then liquid fast. It's still raw. The only thing that I'm adding differently is that on the weekend, which is the weekend is going to end, which is the weekend, I believe, of the 7th or the 8th, 9th, and 10th, I think it is. The weekend is going to end because it should be the dates, and I don't have a calendar in front of me, so excuse me if I'm saying the wrong dates. I will post everything in the group. But we start this Monday, and we end on Sunday. Whatever Sunday's date is, that's the day we end. But that weekend, I am allowing for us to eat hot. You can cook. You can have cooked food. So you can cook your vegetables. You can cook beans, but no dairy, no meats. Everything else is eliminated. Sugar, of course, okay? And I'll post all the details. But this is the detox that we're doing. It gives our body a rest. It gives us an opportunity to get grounded, to get some fortitude going, to purge some things out of our body, out of our system, toxins, to release those toxins. And like I said, release toxins people too. That's part of it. The other new piece of the fast is we're going to do a technology fast. And I do have to put new details because we didn't do that before. So the technology fast, and those of you that like myself that are business and do your business primarily on social media and stuff, no worries. It's going to be intermittent as well. But just think, social media is not the only technology that we can unplug from. You can unplug from television. You can unplug from radio. You can unplug from just getting on, emailing, anything like that, and it's really a timed and planned and disciplined situation, okay? So we are going to do a technology fast as well. Why? What did I just spend all this time talking about? The electromagnetic fields, we're made of energy. Every exchange that we do is energy, including the exchanges that we have with technology, especially because there's all type of harmful things that comes from technology as well. And that's both from physically, like tangibly, there's actually harmful things that happen, but there's also just from an energetic and a spiritual standpoint. So we definitely need to look at that being a beneficial thing, us doing a fast from technology. So this week is all about detoxing our body, right? And which also it lends itself to this, to mental, emotional, and spiritual detoxing, as well as the technology fast. So buckle up. Buckle up. I see a whole lot of comments. I will read them again. I just want to keep to the time. It is 9:30, so I said I was going to wrap up at 9:30. And really quickly, I'm going to close out one of our group members, which I love her, Tina, posted an amazing, I'm just going in the group on my phone. She posted an amazing link to this prayer, and I just want to share a little bit of it to close out in devotion. And it's so powerful, but it's long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can find it. Her name is Tina Machiavelli. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But she's one of my Wonder Woman sisters from, we went through the Wonder Woman program, Iyanla Vanzant's Wonder Woman program together. And just a beautiful sister. Beautiful sister. And I just, love her spirit. And she shared this amazing prayer in the group. So look for it. Her name is Tina Machiavelli. And I think she posted it yesterday. Yes. Yes, Chastity. I think I'm answering your question. So I'm going to go towards the end. It's just so much. It's just beautiful. Oh, all right. So it talks about, it says, Father, Mother God, help me to feel my oneness with you and my equality with my brothers and sisters. Help me to recognize my judgments and to look within for correction. Help me to give up shame and blame and to learn from my errors so that I do not repeat them. Help me to care for my body, my family, my community, and my planet. Help me to create what is for my highest good and for the highest good of others. Help me to be responsible for my creations. Help me to give up victim consciousness and realize that I am a powerful person with many creative choices. Help me to stand up firm. Help me to stand up for myself in a loving way without attacking others or seeking to influence the choices as they need to make. Help me offer freedom to others so that I may receive it in return. Help me reach out with compassion to those in pain, in grief, under stress, or in limitation of any kind, and offer them hope and encouragement. Allow my heart to open to them. Allow my eyes to see beyond the behavior that is motivated by fear and unworthiness. May I offer to others and to myself the unconditional love and acceptance you offer to me. So I'm going to stop there. It's just beautiful, and it goes on and on. It's just such a plea and a cry to the Creator to help us to be the best that we can be, which is really, I know that's my prayer every day. How can I be the best me so that I can show up and be a blessing to all of you and to all that God has called me to serve? And I'm sure that you are all leaders and you have people that look to you for guidance and that you are called to serve. And it's just such a lovely prayer to be able to express that, to express the gratitude, to be able to show up and to be a blessing to others. So I just want to thank everyone for jumping on this morning. And my prayer for you is that you just have an amazing day. Look for the post. We will start our fast and detox tomorrow. And so I'll post everything tonight. But yes, go out, get your fruits and vegetables, and just set your intentions and let's get ready. Okay, and it's all divine because it's lining up with the new moon cycle. So I'm excited about this fast and detox. We've done it before as a group, and I'm more than confident that there are going to be some great testimonies that come out of this one as well. So everyone have a blessed day. Peace.